One of the principal ideas for the new album was to kind of let the material dictate the kind of the form and the structure of the music, rather than try and stretch bits of music into sort of what would be conventional song forms. We decided that we didn't really need to do that. You know, we have our own studio, and the label let us get away with murder, really. The last album, Measure, was a double album, much longer, longer songs, you know, basically normal length songs. This time we decided we didn't really need to do that, and you know, that's why it's more concise and more segues.
The studio that we had been in, we'd been there for 10 years, and we'd shared it with our friends in the Futureheads. But it always meant that, you know, you have to compromise with how you use the space, because they have it as a practice room, and we were using it primarily as a studio. In the new space, it's ours all the time, and therefore, if we want to leave every single keyboard that we own set up, ready to record at all times, we can. We probably played around with keyboard sounds a little bit more on this record than we had in the past. The album before that, Measure, was probably as close as we've got to making like a guitar rock album. And this time round, we let the keyboards fly. We tend to write separately, and to be honest, I struggle to write anything if I'm not on my own in quiet places. If I'm sitting playing, I mean, for me it's generally the guitar, but I know that you probably write more on piano. A snippet of music which just captures your imagination just for that moment, and then you have to find what the song is which goes with this snippet. Again, I suppose that ties in with how we made the album, in that we found we had lots of little snippets which just really wanted to remain snippets, and we allowed that to happen.
The initial sort of inspiration, if you want to call it that, for writing songs or music is generally a small musical or lyrical, like, little problem, and trying to find a little solution to it. And then after that, you have to try and somehow capture that sort of physical sort of moment, or that sort of feeling you got when you first came up with this thing, you know, kind of a eureka moment in its own small way.
Those are the most exciting moments. That initial thing where you've got this tiny bit of music and you can start to imagine how it might grow, and then after that,
and then you have to put all the work in.
Loads of hard work.
Yeah. I think we realised we need to put as much work into lyrics as we do into the music, you know, which is a big editorial process. For me, it is anyway. I mean, in terms of lyrics, I'll try and write as much nonsense down as I can, and as many ideas down as I can, and then it needs to be edited into something kind of coherent.
And in terms of how they come across in the record, I mean, we generally try and make everything sound quite clear. And, you know, we've got northern accents, so we really need to enunciate. Otherwise, people might not have a clue what we were talking about. It's really nice to be on the Mercury shortlist. It's nice to be recognised in the context of this event, which rewards the creative endeavour rather than the commercial impact of something. And to be honest, the chance of us ever being rewarded for the commercial impact of anything is negligible. So
what are you trying to say?
And I think it's a prize which kind of accepts its own subjectivity. You know, there's a panel of judges, and, you know, people who, you know, care deeply about music, and it's lovely to think that they've listened to all of these albums across the year and thought that our album deserved to be on this, you know, quite exclusive list.